like turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle.
Hey, all right. What's up, Turtle Riders? How we all doing out there tonight? Good? Excellent. All right. I have gone ahead and I've shared the link to this live stream on the Clarence Woods Emerson page, as well as the Turtleboy Sports Forever page. So get at me on there. Let me go. Let's see. No, not Turtle. That page has been gone forever. What am I talking about? The Uncle Turtleboy page, the Uncle Turtleboy Aidan Kearney page. So go ahead and give it a share if you're on Facebook. Follow those pages. Are you ready? They're if you're on Facebook already, then follow those pages. For whatever reason, it's fucking growing slowly on there. So go ahead, give those a like. I'm up to like 12,500 followers on the Aidan Kearney Uncle Turtleboy page. Clarence Woods Emerson has like over 24,000. But again, it grows slowly. So let's get those numbers up. Also, smash that subscribe button. Smash that like button. Let's get 100 likes on there real quick. We're getting pretty close to 13,000 subs here on YouTube. That's good. So keep it coming, folks. Let's keep growing. Let's see, keep the revolution alive, if we will. And on top of that, I've shared it to Parler. I'm on Parler at Turtleboy at Parler. Parler is the new kind of right-wing echo chamber of social media, which I have like 3,200 followers on there. So not too shabby. So get at me on Parler. I'm also on Twitter for now. We'll see how long this lasts on a different browser using Firefox. You can find me on Twitter at TB_Aidan. That's at TB_AIDAN. So get at me on there and we'll have a good time. Okay. So, all right. So, a lot of you guys, and thank you very much, Dave DePerry, the super sticker. Let's see, it's $5. He's a super sticker. Great. So the super chat option is available. If you guys feel like hitting up the donos for a little Christmas situation, that'd be cool too. I got to be honest with you. I have already taken care of Christmas shit. So you don't have to buy my crotch fruits gifts or anything like that. We've already taken care of that for yourselves. This is going to the Disney fund. So if you guys feel it, no, I'm just kidding. We're going to put it back. You know, everything that you guys donate, believe me, we're investing back into the company. It'll be a good time. We're going to keep the product going, keep it improving, etc. All right. So without further ado, I'm supposed to have this guy on here tonight, Chedda Crispy. He messaged me earlier and said he's going to come on. If you guys don't know Chedda Crispy, let's see, 508. You guys know that song 508 is Where I'm From that I play on the, here it is. Let me play this. We all know this song by now. I wanted to do I've been trying to get him on in our schedules. He's a very busy guy. There he is. Is where he's from. Yeah, so I'm going to try to call him up right now, but he said he was busy. So we'll see if he's actually, let's see. I'm going to give him a call right now, actually. Before we get started on the content, because I've been trying to get this guy on for a while. Hello? Is this Chedda?
What up, man?
What's happening? Hey, can you, I sent you the StreamYard link, right?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now, actually.
Okay. It'd be better that way, because that way we can get your video on there, you know?
All right, I'll do that right now.
Okay, jump on there and we'll have you on when you get on there. Okay. So we're having the Chedda Crispy on here in a moment. I'm actually, if you guys have any questions you want to ask him, I'm going to keep this brief to like 5 minutes. I'm sure people have questions for Chedda Crispy, like, huh? And wait, what? So if you have any questions you'd like to ask him, serious questions, feel free to fire away in the comments. And I mean, this video, you got to be honest, this 508, I've been playing this video for the theme song for the live show for a while. He didn't know that I was using this for the intro song for the show for like the last year or so. He found out at the barbershop in Millbury, Matt's barbershop, because he went in there and they informed him that, did you know Turtleboy is using your video? And he's like, I didn't even know. I guess he lives in Westboro. He gets his haircut in Millbury, which isn't that close to Millbury. I don't know why he goes all that way, but they do good cuts there. I got to be honest with you. So I go there once in a while, and apparently we share a similar barber. So he wants to come on, and I figured I'd have him on, ask him a few questions. He asked that I not clown on him. I'm not even clowning on him. I'm actually genuine. I actually have questions, and I'd like to ask him. So if you guys have any questions, here we go. Chedda Crispy.
Yo, what's good, man?
How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Chedda Chris, excellent. So, first question I have for you is: so when you made this video, right? 508 is where I'm from. It looks like it's professionally done. You hired somebody to do this for you?
Yeah, I hired someone to do it for me.
Okay, and
wasn't very cheap video. You know what I mean?
It was cheap.
What?
It was cheap, you said.
Yeah, it wasn't very expensive at all.
I mean, it's mostly you. Like, it looks like a lot of drone shit, and then you standing over the 146 overpass.
Yeah, doing my little lobster claws because I didn't know what to do with my hands. You know.
Okay, so are you serious about rapping, or was this like at first I wasn't sure if it was like a parody or?
No, it's not really. It's not really a parody. You know, I make music. I like to make music to make people laugh. You know, I do it because it's my outlet.
Well, isn't that what a parody is?
Well, yeah, I know what a parody is. They actually did a parody of it.
Somebody's done a parody of your parody?
Yes. No, someone did a parody of my video from Time.
Oh, they did? Oh, because I think I saw that. So this went viral. The video itself has how many thousand views on it now? Almost 40,000 views. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think
some other website picked it up and it did $500,000.
$500,000.
Yeah.
But your video doesn't have, so their parody got $500,000.
Yeah. No. This got $500,000. The parody didn't get $500,000.
Okay. So they're mocking you though, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
They're mocking me. Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I mean, it is what it is, you know. Hey, I went viral, you know. Even if people were hating on me for the wrong reasons, love it or hate it still went viral, you know. I mean,
yeah, that's true. I mean, so did you make any money off of this?
No, of course not. You don't make money off music nowadays, you know.
So what's the point of going viral?
I don't know. Try to get as many people to watch it as you can, I guess.
So are you a one-hit wonder? Is like 508 is where I'm from? Is that where you peaked, or you got like a lot of smash hits?
No, I don't have many smash hits, but that's what everybody knows me of, you know, knows me from.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because. So you're from Westboro, correct?
Yeah, grew up in Westboro. Yeah, grew up in Westboro. Lived in Worcester for a long time. You know, went to Assabet Valley.
Went to Assabet Valley, huh?
Yeah.
What year did you graduate?
2002. I'm an old head.
Oh, you're old ass guy. Okay, all right, got it.
Yeah.
So when did you decide to get into rapping?
I started making music probably when I was 27, pretty late. You know, I struggled with alcohol for a long time. I never really tried to make music or rap, or maybe just sitting around a campfire rapping or with my friends, you know.
Who wrote the lyrics to that song?
I wrote the lyrics.
You did. You like Chedda's sex game? That was a Chedda. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Do any women ever hit on you because of this? And can I ask you? You really had no idea I was using this song on the live show until you.
No, I didn't. I actually, like you said, you went into the barbershop, the one I go into. They're like, oh, Turtleboy plays your song on the show. I'm like, no, I thought you maybe did it like once, and then I started looking it up, and they're like, nah, he plays it like every 3 episodes or something, every couple episodes, you know.
Every Saturday night. That's the intro song.
Even if you're tearing me up, you know what I mean.
Well, no, I just play it because I'm also from the 508, so I use that.
Yeah.
It's appropriate because I'm from Worcester, right?
Yeah.
So 508 is also where I'm from. Now, did you know that a lot of people thought that you tagged up Plymouth Rock?
No.
So about a year ago, maybe 9-10 months ago, Plymouth Rock got tagged up by a bunch of people, like 508 gang or something. Google it.
Yeah.
And when they put it out there, a whole bunch of people sent me your video and were like, "This is the motherfucker that tagged up Plymouth Rock." You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Or you were getting blamed for it because of 508. I guess that's also somehow that's the area code in Plymouth. I don't know how, but they have the same area code as us. All right. So we're on a live stream right now. Anybody have any questions they want to ask him? Fire away. If you guys have any questions, I told him I could have him on for a few minutes. He's a busy guy, I'm sure. You had plans tonight?
Well, yeah. You know, making moves like always. Working on some new music, you know.
Is that what you were going to do tonight? You were going to make new music?
Yeah, write some new songs, you know. I mean, I don't do this. I ain't never gonna be famous. I do it because it helps me get through my day to day, you know.
Chedda Crispy is a pretty cool name.
Everybody needs an outlet, you know. Everybody needs a hobby. Everybody needs an outlet.
Yeah. So questions, people saying, why do you have DK? Thank you for donation, by the way. Why do you have an LA tattoo if you're from Mass?
Because that's my nickname growing up.
Okay.
My real name's Albert. You know, when I was born, I was really small, so it stands for Little Albert.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So, and I was also the third too. So I was Albert Pinto the third.
Yeah. People want to know. Let's see. Will you write a Turtle Boy theme song?
If you want, I could write one. Yeah.
Oh, I want.
Yeah, you want?
I want. Oh, I want. Believe me. Trust me.
I mean, the main reason I make music, I'm glad that I made this video and made a lot of people laugh. You know, I got a lot of hate around Worcester.
I'm so confused though, because you take yourself seriously, but you're happy people are laughing at you.
I mean, give or take. You know, I take myself not serious as an artist, but you know, I like making people smile. You know,
yeah.
Even if
people want to know. Sorry to interrupt. Just got a lot of questions coming here. You ever think about bending the brim of your hat?
Oh, bending the brim of my hat. Oh,
yeah, because flat brims around here. That's like
Oh yeah.
It's like a calling card
I
of a
haven't worn
ratchet.
it in a while. I don't even really.
Yeah. Do you have any other area codes in mind for future songs?
No, I don't. You know, I'm from the 508.
Okay. Can you collab with War Rack? Are you familiar with War Rack?
No, I don't know who that is.
Oh, get familiar. There's something else. They're from Warwick, aka War Whack.
Is that that group of white boys?
They sing on this. They rap on the cell phones. They have the cell phones in front of them, and they're reading off their freaking whatever the Blackberries, and they're like reading the lyrics off of them. I don't know if you ever Google them. They're quite the show. What other questions? Let's see. People want to know. Let's see. Anything else here? People said the song was good. The video was ridiculous. They said.
Yeah. Well, it's just a hook, you know. I mean.
Yeah, it's just the hook. Who came up with that beat? Who came up with that?
I actually got it from my producer.
Oh, you have a producer?
Yeah, I have someone I work with.
Who's your producer?
Can't let you know that information.
No, so do you pay them, or is it just like a buddy?
No. It's someone I work with. I pay him for the studio time. You know, when I go in there.
So this is just a cost for you.
What do you say?
So this is just a cost. You're spending money on this, not making money.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
I spend, like I said, it's a hobby. You know.
Yeah, it is. That's true. All right. Anything else, guys? Why people hate? Somebody says if it gets stuck in my head. I mean, it does get stuck in my head frequently. So whoever came up with that hook did a good job.
Yeah. I came up with that hook too.
Have you ever rap battled? Do you rap battle anyone?
No, I don't rap battle. No.
Okay. Do you know I'm a rapper as well?
Oh yeah.
Oh, check out my greatest hits. What? You want to see one? Check this out. I'll show you this. I'll show you my last one from the other day. You're gonna like this. Let's see. If you go on our YouTube channel, Turtleboy Sports, you can see any of these things. And there's your song. I'll show you my rap real quick.
I was a little hesitate coming on because I know you like to expose people, you know.
I do, but I also like to have a good time.
Yeah.
And I like to give homemade rappers the attention that here we go. So this is me. Checking out. Check this out. Nobody raps this like this. Or do they? Why am I just standing? Man, this guy's good. Give it to him. Go.
City councilor out in Chicopee. He be looking like an extra on a show glee. When it comes to fuck ups, you'll be surpassing, making up excuses for sexually harassing. If you are a victim of sexual assault, don't tell this dude because they'll say it's your fault. Dude's philosophy is like a ratchet Voltaire. Just because you got a dick don't mean that you a grizzly bear. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so you get the gist.
Shirt off, he
I mean,
everything's
you got
shirt
skills.
off.
Yeah, okay. It's all right. Thank you, Sarah. That means a lot coming from Chedda Crispy. All right. Any more questions, guys, before we call it a night? Let's see. And then, okay. People like you, man. See, people don't mind you. See, I find you interesting because like I said, I didn't get it. I didn't get if it was like supposed to be serious or not. Because some rappers like really take themselves seriously.
Yeah. I don't
You
take myself
seem to be like a
serious.
mixture
Yeah.
of the two. Like you
No,
kind of
yeah.
take yourself as a joke, but you kind of take yourself seriously at the same
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's interesting, man.
It's all fun and games, whenever I'm around Worcester too, and I get noticed, everyone's like, "Oh, I love your song. I love your song." But like I said, when it first went viral in Worcester, a lot of people were hating. But when I'm out and about, it's nothing but love. So,
All right, there you go, man.
yeah.
There you go. All right, Chedda. Well, thank you for coming on, sir.
All right, man. See you later. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Peace.
Bye. All right, so that was fun. Let's get back to the topic at hand, shall we? First thing on the agenda I want to talk about is COVID, obviously, and how it's just driving me nuts. And so I want to talk about the blog that I did today. So give me one moment to just bring it up here, and we'll do this. Okay, so as you guys know, I live in the Wachusett Regional School District in the town of Holden. I moved here largely because of the schools, because I went to Worcester South High School. I had a Worcester Public School education. It was fine, I got by, but I want a little bit better for my kids. And I think Wachusett has a great reputation. It's a huge high school. It's the biggest district in central Massachusetts. And they're really good in sports, and they probably have clubs and shit that we just didn't have in Worcester, because everything in Worcester is just a little bit ghetto. So anyway, it's like one of those things you want better for your kids, basically. Is this coming up fucking weird? That looks okay, right? All right. Anyway, it's not gone as planned, because my kid's in kindergarten and she's never stepped foot in the school, obviously because of commie cold. And we seem to be like following the path of Worcester for whatever reason, which is never a good thing. If you find yourself saying, well, Worcester did it, that's never good. Never. It's like, no, don't do what Worcester does. That's never a good idea. But the problem that I'm having in my town, and because I don't like to get into small town politics and stuff like that too much. People send me stories all the time about a rogue selectman in their town or something. I'm like, dude, nobody outside of fucking Abington and nobody cares about this, right? So, but this issue that I'm having is one that like all of you probably have, and you don't even realize it, because for too long we have focused on the teachers union as being the reason that the schools are not reopening. And as much as the teachers union is problematic, and the things that like the MTA is putting out there is fucking insane and selfish and ridiculous, and I've crapped all over them, and rightfully so, the teachers union only has the power that we give, that like the school committee gives to them in your town. Your school committee is the one that holds all the power in your town, your local school board, as far as the schools go. They negotiate the contract with the teachers. It is their job to play hardball with the teachers. It is their job. They're supposed to be an enemy of the teacher, or a nemesis of the teacher, not an enemy, but like a nemesis. They're supposed to collaborate to, meet in the middle somewhere when it comes to policy. The union can't get everything they want, and the school committee can't get everything they want. And that's the way it's supposed to be. But unfortunately, it seems like the union, you're going back anyway. And you know what they would do? The teachers, they'd go back. They'd all overcome their fear of coronavirus and put the theatrics aside, and they'd go back. You know why? Because they don't want to starve to death. They know that like it's really not that dangerous to go into school. There is no study ever that has shown that there is major super spreading happening at schools, right? These schools are freaking like as basically as well regulated as you can get when it comes to the restrictions and stuff like that. Anytime somebody tests positive, they're gone for 2 weeks. Like they don't fuck around with schools, right? So there's no reason not to open your local school. There's literally none. The schools all over the South are doing it, and there's no problems. Catholic schools and parochial schools in Massachusetts, they're all doing it. Well, in Wachusett, in your local towns, the Board of Health and the school committees are the two organizations, not the teachers union, that are preventing your kids from going to school. Why is that? Well, boards of health they're not elected bodies. And I had no idea what a board of health did. I didn't care about the board of health. You didn't care about the board of health. Nobody gave a shit about the board of health until COVID came around. All of a sudden, the board of health became literally the most important organization in your life and the most influential. So basically in Holden, what we have here is we have a person from one of the 5 towns who's the board of. Let's talk about this. Her name is Julia Pingatori. Okay. And we were supposed to go back to school in November in Holden. And that didn't happen because like literally a day before schools were to return, there was an emergency meeting and they voted, well, let's delay it till January 19th, inauguration day, essentially, because there could be spreading and cases are up and all this ridiculous, unfounded fear. We have 20 members of our school committee for some reason, and they all ask the experts what they should think. And there were 2 experts that night at the meeting. There was some doctor who was not introduced, who I'd never heard of before, who I later found out is a holistic doctor. He's not even a fucking MD. And also this woman, Julia Pingatori. Now, if you look at her, okay, if you look at this woman's picture, notice the UMass Memorial Healthcare, everyone healthcare being the key word. And she's got the mask on. If you were to look at this picture, this is her profile picture. What would you think she does for a living just by looking at this picture? Go ahead in the comments. I want to hear, what do you guys say? What would you guess this woman does for a living? Let's see what people say. I know a lot of you know the answer by now. CNA, people are saying vet tech, you would think nurse. Okay, right. Nurse. ICU nurse. Okay, you get it. And that's what I would think too, right? If you looked at this picture, you would think that she looks like a nurse. She has the nurse look to her. She's got the proud mask on, the blue, and it says literally UMass Memorial Healthcare on her. And I think this is by design because I assumed this woman was some sort of healthcare worker, and I didn't bother researching her either because I just assumed she was, legitimate, because why else would this Wachusett School Committee have her as like the expert to go to? Now, your local school committee doesn't do any research on their own. They just take complete advice from health experts. I say that, with quotations, because a lot of them, as it turns out, they're not experts. And I urge you to do background research on every member, Google who is running your local health department, do background research on them and find out about them, because I guarantee you, they are the ones who are deciding when your kids go back to school. And I bet a lot of them are not credentialed to do so and have no background in it whatsoever, as is the case here. So here's this woman. There she is. She works as a liability claims specialist for UMass Memorial. So she does work at UMass, but she works in insurance claims. Insurance professional exhibiting a unique combination of both healthcare and claims experience, creative problem solver with technical skill and excellent attention to detail, who consistently achieves set goal. Oh God, I hate when people talk. It's just so generic. And offers solutions for meeting organizational goals beyond the scope of individual positions. What does that even mean? Demonstrated ability to analyze strategy, cost and benefit of business practices and initiatives. So it's her job essentially down here, handling medical malpractice and general liability cases for large nonprofit multi-specialty healthcare organization, including all aspects of investigation. So they're literally, they have no aspect. They have no there's nothing on here about healthcare. Her job is to basically, it sounds like from what I'm reading from this, is that she decides how much businesses get paid for healthcare, the insurance liability claims. I'm not sure. She's an adjuster. Okay. She has this has nothing to do with healthcare, nothing. She just happens to work for a healthcare company doing their insurance adjusting. That's it. Prior to that, she worked at Hanover, where she was terminated for poor performance right around the same time that Corinne Gaffney was also terminated there as well. Before that, she worked at Travelers Insurance, again, as a liability claim representative. So naturally then, this person is the go-to de facto expert for when my kid gets to go to school, because that makes sense. Now, how did this happen? Well, she was chosen by the superintendent, Daryl McCall, who is a rabid social justice warrior and sent this ridiculous email this summer about George Floyd and how we should read white fragility to our kids. Don't even get me started on that. But she became a member of the Paxton Board of Health in 2019 because she's already a member of the Board of Selectmen. Paxton's a town. There's 5 towns in our district: Sterling, Rutland, Paxton, Princeton, and Holden. Holden's the big town, and then Sterling and Rutland are a little bit smaller than that, and then Paxton and Princeton are the small ones. She's from the small town, like the least represented town, and she's on the Board of Health there. Less than 5,000 people live in Paxton. And how did she get on the Board of Health? Well, she was elected to the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Selectmen picks who goes on the Board of Health. They're not even elected, and nobody cares, because who cares on the Board of Health? Prior to COVID, did you give a shit who was on your local Board of Health? No, you didn't think about it, because who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares about who's on the local Board of Health. But turns out we should have. So, they goes on to say, when she went to get the job, she went against a guy named Seth Peters. So I Googled Seth Peters, and as it turns out, Seth Peters is an infectious disease expert who served as the chief of epidemiology and health protection for the city of Worcester. That's literally a resume that was made for COVID. If you could come up with a resume of like, who should we hire to, advise us on a COVID pandemic, it would be the guy who is an infectious disease expert who served as the chief of epidemiology and health protection for a city that is, 20 times the size of Paxton, or maybe 40 times the size of Paxton. Okay. But no, they didn't pick him. They picked the insurance adjuster. Why? Because according to them, she's easy to get along with. She was pleasant. And on top of that, her husband works for the fire department. I shit you not. He said he was impressed by Peter's qualifications. Yeah, we're impressed by the fact that, the other guy was, an epidemiologist. But on the other hand, her husband works for the fire department. So, if we ever can't reach her, we can always reach him. You know what I mean? This seems to be what they're saying. And nobody cared, because it's a town of 4,000 people and it's the health department. Nobody cares. Well, as it turns out, Paxton is part of a much larger community in Wachusett, and she is on the Board of Health. So that the superintendent handpicks her to be the official spokesperson for health for the entire town. And they never mention at any of these meetings, oh, by the way, she's an insurance adjuster. They forgot to mention that. And every single member of the school committee, when they're asking questions of her, they just deflect to her. So let's start with this one. At the 36:45 mark, listen to what this woman asks her.
Because there's probably a short point. So I guess Board of Health, if they have any input on if they foresee us getting back for January 19th. Thank you.
So she's
I
asking.
can respond to that.
I can respond to that. She says that a lot. I can respond to that. I'm the health expert here. So they're asking, can we get back on January 19th? You're on the school committee. You get to decide. It's your choice. But these people don't want to make their own decisions. They don't want to do their own research on COVID and whether or not it's safe to go back. Spoiler alert, it always has been. So they just want to defer to an expert, and they want them to make their decision for them because they are gutless cowards. That's what they do. Now listen to her answer here.
Thank you so much. This is Julia. So, it's a tough one. It's really going to be highly dependent on how well people adhere to guidelines over the next few holidays.
Oh,
what we saw.
So stop right there. It's going to depend on how well people adhere to guidelines. That's what will determine, guys, when schools get to open. This is what they always do. They always blame it on you. They always blame it on you. Well, we're shutting down bars and restaurants, right? And we're limiting gyms and all this stuff. Why? Well, you didn't mask up. People weren't adhering to the guidelines. People were living their lives, and it's your fault. It's your fault. Even though literally everywhere you go, you have to wear a mask. Everywhere people are masking up. There isn't a single place in America where people aren't masking up, or at least in the state, rather. And, but it's your fault. People didn't adhere to the rules. They didn't adhere to the guidelines. Like, Dr. Burks. Did you guys see this in the news? Did you guys see Dr. Burks in the news? Dr. Burks, the scarf lady there, she, who's the one that told us all to stay home on Thanksgiving. Remember that? Yeah. Well, that woman decided that she was going to go to Delaware with like 3 generations of her family, like a dozen people, and got caught. She did exactly what she told people not to do. She got caught today, and instead of owning up to it, she resigned because this is bad for my family. So nobody stays home. Nobody should stay home. If you are staying home, you're a sucker. Okay. It's unreasonable to ask people to stay home. That should never be a fucking solution, is don't see your family on holidays. That's ridiculous. I'd rather die. If you have COVID, stay away from them. If you don't, who cares? Go out, see your family, live your life. But either way, even if you don't go out, even if you do what you're supposed to do, this public health expert is going to tell you that you didn't, and they're going to blame you. And what she's doing here is she's already preemptively coming up with a reason to tell them that, nah, you don't want school. So she goes on.
With Thanksgiving, is we saw the definite uptick about 5 to 7 days later from Thanksgiving. But we saw that continued, not just for that short period of time, it continued over the next two or 3 weeks. So if you were to then apply that to, say, Christmas and New Year's, potentially we'd be running into a situation where cases are still high as of January 19th. But it's really going to depend a lot on whether people, learned from Thanksgiving and, decided to take a different route or not.
Oh, screw you. Oh, screw off. Whether we learn from it. Guys, she's smarter than us, right? She tells all of us what to do. And like, we're students. She's the teacher. She's an infectious disease expert who does insurance claims. But she's smarter than you, right? She's the one that gets to decide when you go back. And, if you learned your lesson from last time, maybe she'll let your child, get an education. Maybe, if you learned your lesson, but probably not, because you all don't adhere to the rules and the guidelines.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Patricia, anything to add?
Okay. So there's that. Another one another quote she's got in here at the 42:50 mark. Let me play this one. So here's another guy asking her about, the question he's about to ask her is, what would be your recommendation for allowing? So they want to allow kindergarten to 2nd grade to go back January 4th or 5th or something like that. That makes perfect sense because my daughter has never stepped foot in the school before. She's never stepped foot in a classroom, right? She has no friends. I mean, if you have a kindergartner at home who's had remote learning, they have no friends because you can't make friends on a Zoom call. There's no ability for children to interact, which is really one of the most important parts about public education, is interacting with the public, making friends, the social atmosphere of it all. And it's being denied from her. And so kindergarten is really important to get them in there. Really important. Get them acclimated with the building. They want to have K-2 in on January 5th. So this guy's asking her, is that possible?
Be your recommendation.
I can respond to that.
I can respond to that.
So Scott, thank you for your question. I can't say that I could get behind moving kids in earlier, understanding that there will likely be a lot of cases that are developing de novo following the holidays. So
de novo?
At the January 4th mark, I think we're still seeing a lot of situations where there would be people incubating virus and not necessarily showing signs.
So basically, she can predict the future. It's not January 4th yet, but she knows that you're going to misbehave during this. So we're going to have to do de novo, which I had to Google. It's from the beginning. We're going to start over essentially. And on January 4th, there will be so many people that are incubating the virus. That's the new buzzword, AKA you're asymptomatic. You have the virus, you just don't know it yet. So you're probably going to pick it up, on Christmas and New Year's, and then you're going to get it. And then you're going to go back to school, and then you're going to spread it because you don't realize you have it. This is what she thinks is going to happen.
Or testing positive yet at that point. So I think you'd be running a risky situation where you could have potentially a lot of people that are in the incubation phase and becoming positive while they're at the school.
That's what she thinks. So your child's education will be shut down and denied because, the insurance adjuster thinks this will happen. Okay. Now, the most absurd part about it is when this woman comes on. And I had never heard of her before. And this is why it's so important, guys, to vote in your local elections. It doesn't matter. Like, the president of the United States is really not going to have, like, we all wanted Trump, right? Most of us on here. We didn't get him. But guess what? Like, it's really not going to affect your day-to-day life that much. It's just not. Joe Biden being president is going to suck. He's going to be so annoying. Oh, it just sucks to let the bad guys win. I get it. Believe me, it's horrible. But like, as far as your day-to-day reality, Joe Biden does not have the ability to affect you that much. Your local school committee, on the other hand, does. And that's why it's so, like, voter turnout in this last election, like 75% of registered voters voted. That's insane. All right. And your local town elections for school committee or whatever, you probably don't even know where they are. I don't. I've been living here for 4 years. I've never voted for one. I probably should. Okay. And I'm going to now because I've learned my fucking lesson, and I'm a civically minded guy. Probably 10 to 15% voter turnout for most of these elections. And people like this sneak onto the school committee. Her name is Asima Silva, and she decides that she is going to chime in with her 2 cents.
Thank you.
Asima was trying to, I think she has to jump off and wanted to jump in, so I'm happy to yield my time to her.
Thank you. Member Silva, do you want to hop on now?
Yes, I'd love to, Megan. I actually have to hop off in a few minutes, and I apologize going out of order. As I had emailed the school committee members, and I'd like the community to know that I just lost my uncle this morning to COVID.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my God. Stop. I just listen to the way her voice changes in that real quick. Okay. I just want you to hear this again, because I couldn't believe this when I heard this.
As I had emailed the school committee members, and I'd like the community to know that I just lost my uncle this morning to COVID.
She just lost her uncle this morning to COVID. So what a coincidence. She's crying. So this is a woman pushing for public policy. And instead of citing, facts and data and stuff like that, her plan is to come on here and cry, literally cry, and tell us this awkward story about how our uncle died today, not yesterday, not last week, not last month, literally today. Her uncle died from COVID. And she can't even finish the sentence without crying. Does this sound real? Just please, I don't want to accuse anybody of that. I live in this town. I have to see these people a big Y. But does this sound real? You tell me.
As I had emailed the school committee members, and I'd like the community to know that I just lost my uncle this morning to COVID. I just returned back from the cemetery, and my
wait. She just returned back from the cemetery? When did he die again? Let's play that again one more time. When did he die?
As I had emailed the school committee members, and I'd like the community to know that I just lost my uncle this morning.
This morning! Her uncle died this morning from COVID. And where are you coming from right now?
To COVID. I just returned back from the cemetery.
From the cemetery. He died this morning from COVID. And she just visited him in the cemetery. So he died and was buried on the same day. This happened. This is the person that is deciding who I'm supposed to trust with my child's educational opportunities in the future. Go on.
My question is to the Board of Health, because I'm concerned about the metrics that the Board of Health is laying out. So my question is, in my experience, with my uncle's experience, I have seen healthcare workers overworked. I have seen hospitals being overworked.
Time out. So literally, you see what she did there? That opening story there was just a way to change your mentality about the question she's about to ask you. Like she's starting off with that to make you seem like, oh my God, this is like so real. Like everybody's fucking dying. Everybody's dying of COVID. Holy cow. This woman, like you can't meet somebody that their uncle hasn't died 5 minutes ago. Everybody's coming from the cemetery. They want you to be like, panic, panic, panic. No school, no school. We have to shut everything down. That's the goal here. That's why she leads with that. So her question is going to be about the metrics.
I'm concerned about the metrics that the Board of Health is laying out. So my question is, in my experience, with my uncle's experience, I have seen healthcare workers.
With my uncle's experience, I have seen healthcare workers.
I have seen hospitals being overwhelmed. So when these metrics are being laid out and recommended for schools to open, are they considering what impact it will have on these hospitals?
First of all, the hospitals are not overwhelmed. That is simply untrue. And if it is, it's not because of COVID. This is the highest peak annually every year is right around this time. It's flu season. This is the time they're at their peak in the ICU. That's just a fact. About 10% of ICU patients in any given hospital are there because of COVID. COVID is certainly adding to the problem, but it's not overwhelming it. Okay. If you can't stand 10% more business, essentially is what's happening here, then what the hell's wrong with our healthcare system? That's like saying like, oh my God, I can't order Chinese food on New Year's. I don't want to overwhelm Chowleys. I don't want to overwhelm the Golden Dragon. They're so busy as it is on New Year's Eve. I don't want to add to the problem. People get sick. They go to the hospital. They get treated. Okay. That's how healthcare works. They're not being overwhelmed. That's just a flat out lie. And she's like, now listen to what she says about what the doctor tells her. And you tell me. And Cherokee asks a great question. And this is one thing I was asking too. How do you know how do you know it's overwhelmed? Were you in the ICU? You're not allowed in the ICU. What do you know? You're not allowed to hold hands with these people and see them when they die. Who is your uncle? That's what I'd like to know. Who's your uncle? Can you name him, please? Not that I don't believe you, but I kind of don't believe you. It seems like you're lying. Your story is inconsistent. I apologize if I'm not, but I feel like the fact that you are using this story to push your policy means that like it's incumbent upon you to prove that the story is real. So she goes on. Listen to what she says about what the doctors told her.
Because I am going to quote what one of my family members' doctors said.
Okay.
Is once you are once you are admitted as a COVID patient, you become a number at this point. You are no longer a family member and a loved one.
This is what the doctor told her, is that once you get COVID, you are no longer you are no longer a loved one and a family member. This is a doctor told her. Hey, so you know your uncle up there? He's not your uncle anymore. He's COVID number 4,522. Okay, that's what he is. We just refer to him as COVID 4522 now. He's not uncle anymore. He's not a loved one anymore. He's not a person anymore. A doctor told the niece of this man this whatever. This is what she wants us to believe.
Because that is the only way they can take care of these patients. And it concerns me with these metrics. How are these metrics being, outlined? Because are we really outlining these metrics as how many numbers can we just barely support?
So she's asking her, are we looking at the numbers, the numbers, AKA the numbers that tell us when it's safe to go back to school? That stupid chart, red, all those different colors. Are we looking at the metrics? She doesn't want you to look at the metrics. What does she want you to look at?
Are we outlining these numbers to make sure that each individual who gets COVID can still be treated like a family member and a human being?
So are we looking at it to see if each individual who gets COVID is treated like a family member or a human being? What she's asking there is really simple, guys. It's like, are you going to ignore the data when it says it's safe to go back to school and instead focus on my theatrics? Like, don't listen to the numbers. Don't listen to the data. Think about me. Think about my uncle. I cried. Did you not hear me cry? I cried. It was quite convincing. Feel bad for me. Close everything down. Think of my uncle. It could be your uncle next. And then listen, look at how awkward this is.
Thank you so much, Member Silva. And again, our deepest condolences. We did have a moment of silence at the beginning of the meeting.
They're having a moment of silence. Doesn't it seem like she's even choking back tears?
Patricia or Julia?
She's a vice principal in Murdoch too. She runs the school committee, or in Winchendon. So, like the fact that like it's so inappropriate to even do that. Like if you are a public official of anywhere, don't cry, don't cry, don't go. You had somebody die that day, which I don't believe. Don't go. Just don't go. If you're unable to keep it together, it's inappropriate to cry like that because it influences public opinion. Like it makes things awkward for these people. Like we're trying to have a serious discussion about reopening a school district in a district that probably has like 10,000 students in it. And like this woman's crying. It's just so awkward. Like what the hell? So anyway, yeah, I want to know who the uncle is. Like 7 Pounders does. Show me the uncle. That's what I'd like to know. So these are the people basically that are, deciding whether or not you get to do it. Now, as it turns out, this woman, let's look at her resume here. I Googled this woman and she's a delegate for the Massachusetts Democratic Party. There she is, right there at the DNC in July of 2016. And she uses her children often. So she uses family members often with like anecdotes like the uncle to push for public policy. So she says her daughter told her, make sure Trump doesn't win so people won't hate us. That never happened. That never happened. If it did happen, if your child tells you, oh man, please, mommy, make sure that, the Republican candidate for president doesn't win because people will only hate us if he loses. People will only like us if he loses. If a child actually says those words to you, it is your job to tell your child, oh no, honey, people are going to like you no matter who the president is. Okay. That's it. That's all you say. But these people, first of all, that never happened. Second of all, if it did happen, it is your failure as a parent that allowed that to happen to begin with. Here's her. She's on the radio a lot. Check this out.
Hello, everyone. My name is Asima Silva. I'm a mother of 5, a software engineer. I do a lot of work with schools and interfaith. I'm working on a new project I want to tell everyone about. Right now in the current climate, Muslim, women, immigrants, all minorities are being attacked. This is a chance for all of us to have our voices heard. We're doing a weekly radio. Muslims and all minorities are being attacked. Sure thing. Okay. She's also like Jim McGovern's darling. Jim McGovern is our congressman in District 2 in Massachusetts. And at the 2016 State of the Union, this is when Obama's last State of the Union. It's when Trump was like, clearly going to get the nomination or looked like he was going to win. And everybody wanted us to believe like Trump hates Muslims, right? He's going to get rid of Muslims, blah, blah, blah. Didn't happen, obviously. And so every liberal you get to bring one guest with you there too. Everybody was trying to find a token Muslim to bring with them to Congress to sit with them to like stick it to Trump, essentially. So she is the de facto. If you're in Central Massachusetts and you need a Muslim to bring around and show how diverse and woke you are, it's her. You bring her around. I had no idea that that's who this woman was. So she actually gets to go to the State of the Union, sit there. This is what she puts on Facebook. Holden residents, I am not at the school committee meeting tonight since I'm at dinner with Jim McGovern. I take my responsibility of school committee very seriously. I would not miss it unless another event will bring Wachusett more visibility and network. So I do my job that you guys elected me to do, but I'm really important, guys. And a congressman asked me to go to dinner, so I'm not going to do it because I'm eating dinner with Jim McGovern. I'm just that fucking important. I'm just that important. I'm his token Muslim person that he brings around whenever he needs to stick it to Donald Trump. Thank you, 7 Pounder says, Merry Christmas to all Turtle Riders. Happy to donate to the Disney Fund. Get that app going. We'll do. All right. So he goes on to say, this is my favorite part. When you search this woman's name, in 2013, she made headlines in the Wachusett district. Let me just read this to you. Asima Silver, whose daughter Maymuna was a student in honors chemistry last year, said that Maymuna expressed concerns about how her teacher treated her in class. Mrs. Silva said Maymuna reported not being called on and having a feeling that she did not exist for the teacher.
Let me tell you from experience about this. This happens all the time. Oh, thank you, Richard Cresswell. I appreciate that. Every time I had parent-teacher conferences, like when you have a class of 25 kids, right? It's like the same 4 kids that raise their hands for everything, right? So you try to mix it up and call in different kids and stuff like that. And oftentimes you call on them and it's just like, you ask them a question, they're like, and it just kills the flow of the class. Thank you, 7 Pounders. It's happy Kwanzaa to Monica Cannon Grant. So it just kills the flow of the class. So I don't know, but I would guess like 80% of the kids that I've had in class think that you don't like them. It's just kids internalize everything. They get a bad grade on a test. They think like, oh, the teacher doesn't like me. And they're kids. They're 15, they're 16 years old. They're not going to confront you about it. Like they're adults. They're not adults. They don't have like they're not built for that. They're intimidated by you as a teacher. So they're not going to come up to you and be like, do you not like me? Is it something I said? Is there a reason you're not calling on me? They're not going to do that. What they're going to do most of the time is they're going to go home to mom and dad and be like, the teacher doesn't like me. And it's incumbent upon the parent at that point. Like if your kid comes home and tells you a story about their teacher, guys, just email the teacher and ask about it. Just like, hey, so this is what my kid said. I just like to clarify, this, I just like to tell her, I'm sure it's a misunderstanding. It's the easiest way to get along with teachers. What you don't do is blindly believe your child and believe this ridiculous story that, they think you don't exist. They're not, because he didn't call on me when I had my hand up. You must hate me. It's absurd. Anybody who does that should not be taken seriously. She goes on to say, Miss Silva, who was born in India, which to my knowledge is not a Muslim country, so I'm a little confused by that, came to the United States as a child. The family are practicing Muslims, and Maimuna wears the hijab in class. She's currently a senior, but attends only a few classes at the high school. Her mother said she chose to be homeschooled. She doesn't even go to the schools, and she's on the school committee. Homeschooled. After being harassed by her peers in the middle and high school. By the way, this woman is an IBM software engineer. She lives in an almost $700,000 house in Holden, 4,000 square feet, probably does quite well for himself. And I'm guessing since she's a software engineer, she can work from home. This pandemic means absolutely nothing to her. Nothing. Merry Christmas to the riders, says Susie Q. Merry Christmas to you, Susie. So this means, as usual, the people who are least affected by this are the ones pushing for the lockdowns. They're the ones that this doesn't affect them. What do they care? I mean, your kids are probably out of school at this point anyway. This was 7 years ago. The kid was 17. So she goes, their mother said that she chose to become homeschooled after being harassed by her peers in middle and high school. I'm sorry. Any kid that's like telling you, Mom, kids are picking me on school. Can I be homeschooled? If my kid ever says that to me, I'm like, no, I'm not homeschooling you because kids are picking on you. You think you're the first person to get picked on in middle or high school? Tell me about who's picking on you. I'll call the parents. We'll figure this out. Or you can go talk to them and you figure it out. Who cares? It's just, you're not going to see any of these people in 10 years anyway. No, nothing any of your 15-year-old peers think of you matters, ever. That's what an adult tells their child. If they come to them and tells them that. What an absolute joke and a disgrace of a parent does, it's like, oh my God, someone who's mean to you in school, we're going to homeschool you now. That tells me everything I need to know about this person. It goes on. Miss Silva said Maimuna experienced prejudice during the last school year, including a situation that occurred during a chemistry lab period in April, when the teacher was talking to several other students and made the comment she should move to India and become a Muslim. Does anybody believe that actually happened? That a public school teacher said, oh yeah, that they're like mean girls in class. He's talking to the cool kids over here, the cheerleaders, the jocks. Hey, that girl over there, guys, she should move to India and become a Muslim. You know, you can be like her. How about that? You like that job? All right. I mean, this is cartoonish. This is absurd and ridiculous. These allegations that are being made. When the teacher turned and saw that Maimuna had heard the comment, she told Maimuna that the comment was not about her. Mrs. Silva learned about the comment the day it happened. The alleged comment, not the comment, the alleged comment, and immediately reported to school principal Bill Biando, who, by the way, was my soccer coach when I was in 5th grade. Weird thing, we end up back here together. Who conducted an investigation. Mr. Biando declined to discuss the specifics of the incident or the outcome of his investigation, saying he did not want to manage the student-teacher relationship. He declined to answer when asked if the teacher had been disciplined, aka the teacher was not disciplined because he investigated it and it probably didn't happen. Okay? This girl is probably just victimizing herself and mom just protects her because this woman is insane and she wants to put her kids in, like, constantly wants to be a victim, constantly. Miss Silva met several times during the summer and into the fall with Mr. Biando and the interim superintendent and the deputy superintendent, who's now the superintendent. She said she was not satisfied with the school's response. Shocking, shocking. And neither the school nor the district administration accepted the comment as prejudice. So basically, what did she want? If the prejudice is coming from the teachers, it condones it from the students. Well, it never happened to begin with, okay? So she goes on to say, when she doesn't get what she wants from the principal, what does she do? She goes to fat bastard over there, Chris Robert. Just Google him. I've written about him many times. Big, fat, slobby disgrace of he's gross. He runs the Worcester ACLU. And she wants them to do diversity training. And the ACLU doesn't do diversity training. So she identified the Islamic Networks Group, a California-based nonprofit that fights prejudice towards American Muslims through education. There it is. That's how they get paid, folks. This is how the racism industrial complex works. All you do, and I've been saying this for years, people like Monica Cannon Grant, the last thing that they want, the last thing that they'd ever want, and Al Sharpton, same thing. Their worst nightmare is that they wake up tomorrow in a world in which no one is racist. Do you understand what that would do to their bottom line? They would die destitute. These are people with no skills, no job. This woman has skills. She's a software engineer, for crying out loud. But people like, Monica Cannon Grant, they have no skills. So they need racism to exist. And when they can't find racism, they have to fabricate it. They have to cook it up. Why? So that they can sell the antidote to it. And the antidote is always the same antidote. Diversity training. Hire my friends at the Islamic Networks Group, pay them $50,000 to come into the schools and force a bunch of white teachers to sit there and get lectured about how to avoid offending Muslim students with, microaggressions, essentially. M Job says, I disagree. The last thing, Gigi, whatever wants to say. That's good. That's good. That's pretty good. So, this woman also does interviews after Trump got elected. She did an interview with WBUR, and once again said that she picked her son up from school because he was sick. And in the car, he said to me, Mom, I think I'm actually sicker because I'm worried. And I said, worried about what? And he said, I'm worried that if Trump is elected because he wants to kick us out. That never happened. That never, ever happened. This whole back and forth, she made it all up. Mom, I think I'm sicker because I'm worried that Trump's going to be elected because he's going to kick us out. This is what she said. A child said. The child is sick at school to his stomach over the idea that Donald Trump might get elected president. This is the woman who is telling us now that, and why people are like, why did you bring up all the old stuff? Why did you bring up all the Trump stuff? I don't care who she's lying about. She could be lying about Biden. I don't care. I'm trying to establish the pattern here that this woman is lying about what is happening and always trying to dramatize and be theatrical and make it seem like everything is a life or death decision. And it always brings up family members as anecdotes and stuff like that no one can confirm or anything like that. She's always the victim, always the victim. She's bringing training sessions about Islamophobia into school districts. So there she goes. She won. She got what she wanted. She got what she wanted. And here, by the way, this is my favorite. She shared something from The Blaze featuring Michelle Malkin, who is insane, by the way, and about how the state is collecting data on our kids and using it to brainwash them. So she's so unaware that she's a radical leftist who has accidentally shared right-wing propaganda. So why do I bring this up, right? Yeah, anyone think that she gets a kickback? Exactly. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. These people, there's always something going on there, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. The racism industrial complex. So I bring this up, I bring this all up, not just because it's a personal issue with me, because it probably is affecting you. I mean, people in the comments right now, I want to hear if you have children, or just if you don't have children in your school districts. I'm curious, is your school district, give me a 1 if you're remote, 2 if you're hybrid, and 3 if you're back full-time completely. I'm genuinely curious. 1 if your kid or your district is remote, 2 if they are hybrid, and 3 if they are let's see. So what do we got here? 1, let's see, 2, 1, 2, 2. I'll bring it up on my thing. So what do we got here? Let's see. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. A lot of hybrids. 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. Oh, Laura, London. Somehow London is. I mean, they get it. They're not stupid. 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3 until last Friday. 2, 1. Okay, 3-ish. Well, that's interesting. There was an outbreak, so they went remote till January. That's interesting. I want to. What district in Massachusetts is completely back? That's what I'd like to know. I mean, we're right next to the Quabbin Regional School District, and I think they're back. They've been back, but we're not for some reason. It makes no sense. So that's interesting that most people are not fully remote. That's interesting. So I guess I'm in the minority here, but it could come to your town. And I bring this up because the lesson to be learned here is don't let them get away with this. You have a lot of control over your local people. They will return your emails when you organize. Start a Facebook group of angry parents. This is your children's education. They will do this indefinitely. They will not, if they're willing to just take away half the school year, they'll take away the full school year. And what's their motivation to come back next year? What is their motivation? They think that this remote learning is acceptable somehow. It's not. This is not acceptable. This is not an education. My daughter in her bedroom doing jumping jacks is not gym class. That should not count. But that's what's, taking the place of this. She hangs out with me. She should be hanging out with kids her own age. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. They'll keep doing this. Do not accept this. If your school district is not open, demand that it be. Demand it. And most importantly, research who's on your board of health. Watch your school committee meetings like I did. See who the experts are, the quote unquote experts. Find out their background. Contact school committee members and run against them, for crying out loud. People tell me I should run. Maybe I should. Maybe I should run for the Wachusett Regional School District against this woman. How awesome would that be if I beat this woman? That'd be freaking awesome. I don't know. I live in a town where only 39% of the people voted for Donald Trump, so I don't know if I'd win, but I feel like at least I'm not a pathological liar. At least I don't, pretend to have dead uncles that died today. I don't do that. So I got that going for me. All right. Let's take any questions you guys got. Anything you guys want to ask me, fire away. Yeah. Gym class, and yeah, it is awful. Turtle Boy should have had John Featherston. He knows. I got to get Featherston on here sometime. He'd be a good guest. TV for governor. I'd never win, dude. I can never win. I live in Massachusetts. Not in the cards. The hell's happening here? What's this all about? Anyway, what are you doing to celebrate your birthday? It's a great question. I don't know. I'm not going to have a live show. I thought about today. What the hell am I going to talk about? There's not going to be any content because I'm not obviously blogging on Christmas Eve or like Christmas. So what would I even talk about on a live show? So I don't know. I'd probably go out. I feel like I should go out, but can you even go out? I don't know. What happened to Bret? So Bret, he basically exactly what I thought happened. All right, so Bret was nervous. It was the first time being on camera. Bret gets nervous, believe it or not. He's a human being, and he gets nervous even though he's, outlandish and doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would get nervous or give a fuck. He was nervous, and he had an off night. He was fucking plastered, in case you couldn't tell. I think he drank too much because he was nervous, and he just was not. He did not bring his A game at all. He didn't bring his B game or a C game either. And every time I was asking him questions, he was missing dunk. And I think he was just so frustrated with himself at the end. He's just like, fuck this, and quit. He walked off. So I messaged him about it. We talked. I said, hey, no biggie. He'll be back. He'll rebound fine. Trust me. Brett will rebound fine. So he'll be back. M-Job, what do you think of Trump pardoning everyone today? I don't like it because I'm not going to be happy until he pardons my guy Snowden. I really want that guy to get pardoned big time. That would be fucking awesome. That's if Trump leaves office without pardoning Snowden, it is he missed his biggest opportunity ever to give the middle finger to the deep state. There's no one the deep state hates more than Snowden because he exposed all the deep state secrets. Look at the people who want Snowden to be in jail, and you know that you're doing the right thing. People like Lindsey Graham, people like Clapper and John Brennan and Liz Cheney. Ugh. Those are the ones that don't want him in jail. People that do want him that want him free are like the new Republicans, the cool Republicans like Matt Gaetz, Rand Paul, Josh Hawley. They realize like this guy, the government hates him because he exposed that they were essentially spying on us, our private conversations, like not terrorists or anything like that, just anybody they want. And he exposed that. He didn't put anyone's life. People like he exposed national security, whatever. Like he got people killed. There's blood. Who died because of Ed Snowden? Who died? Nobody. So that I was disappointed. I just hope that if Trump leaves and the only people he bails, he pardons on the way out are a bunch of his cronies and other politicians, then fuck him. He missed a huge opportunity. He was too busy whining about losing than doing the right thing. I will be extremely disappointed. And if he does pardon Snowden and Assange, he will go down as like a fucking hero for, not just the new right, as I call it, but also like the populist left. Like people like the Bernie Sanders crew. They will appreciate that very much so. The Glenn Greenwalds of the world. They will appreciate that. Because it will show that like this guy he was truly one of us. He's sticking it to the deep state. Trump is vetoing this stupid freaking coronavirus bullshit bill. Oh my God. Don't even get me started on that. They're throwing $600 our way, guys. Let them eat cake. They took away your business or whatever. $600 should cover it, right? Yeah. Well, the whole bill is $900 billion. And about 1/5 of that is going to direct payments. Look where the rest of it's going. Foreign aid to freaking Nepal. Diversity training. Literally, there's millions of dollars going to diversity training in there. All this bullshit about like a study about whether or not we have enough statues of women in this country. This is what it's going to. What I'd like to know, and how journalism's dead in this country, is like if they had taken that $900 billion and just given it to you people, we'd all get $2,700. That's what it'll come out to. Instead, we're getting $6,000. So what a real journalist would do in this case is find out which representative of the 435 added this to the bill. Who added relief aid to Nepal to the bill? Who added $500 million to Israel as if we don't give them enough money? Who added that? First of all, America should not be giving anyone aid. America is not a fucking charity for the rest of the world. This idea that we should give foreign aid, fuck that. Who's giving us aid? Nobody. Why the fuck are we giving out aid? You're an independent country. You want to be treated like a grown-up country, then act like one. You shouldn't be sucking off America's fucking titties. If not, then join another country. Become a real country. You're a fake country if you need foreign aid. So we're paying all this money up the ass for all this bullshit. And Trump's vetoing it. Because he's like, no, pay them. Pay everybody $2,000. Show me a bill, and that is fucking badass for Trump. That is good Trump right there. And so fuck all these people, these deep state assholes, Joe Biden. I hope Democrats realize what they voted for. You voted for a deep state swamp rat who is bringing back more and more deep state swamp rats. There's a reason that they didn't like Donald Trump, and they did everything they could to take him out of power because he's a populist, because he wanted to change things. And he did change things. And all these assholes who have been getting away with shit like Mattis, Mad Dog, once he realized you couldn't just declare wars anymore, like the good old days, they decided that, well, I'm not working for this asshole anymore. And I'm going to go and run and tell the New York Times about it. And they'll love it. Anything anti-Trump they're going to like. So good for Donald Trump for that. Bad for Donald Trump if he doesn't pardon Snowden and Assange. Okay? That's my thoughts on that. Other questions? I have no problem supporting. They give us so much technology. I mean, I have a problem supporting right now anybody but Americans. The government shut us down. The government did. They shut businesses down. If they are going to do that, then they need to pay them. They need to pay them. Period. And America first. Americans need to be a priority. Israel, God bless them. Nice people. You're going to have to sit this one out, Israel. Because you know what? We fucked up. We shut down businesses here. We need to make it right first. So you're going to have to borrow from another country. Call up Russia. Give them a call. See what they got. Anything else? Fuck Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she's a typical let them eat cake. Anything else? You don't know what the deep state is. Sure, I don't. Here, people got 80% of their salary and businesses got support. But even isn't that sad, guys? Britain's showing us how to do it. Even though they're insane lockdowns right now. Some of the new restrictions in London, like this poor girl's like a fucking prisoner again. But at least they're paying people there. Yeah, Israel, a lot of countries lock down worse than the United States because they don't have a Bill of Rights. We do. Australia, New Zealand, a lot of these countries lock down. Like we Americans fight back, or we're supposed to at least. We didn't this time around. Any court updates? Not really this week. Still none. All right. Any more questions, guys? Okay. The chick in the Cayman Islands, that story is crazy, man. People are like cheering this on, like, good. That's what you get for going to a foreign country and like fucking around. She went and watched her boyfriend jet ski instead of quarantining. And she's locked up for 4 months now. Fuck that. I'm so sick of people saying that. You need to respect their laws. And you go, no, you don't. If the laws are fucking stupid, then, it's not like the guy in Singapore, graffitiing cars. The girl, any law that says you can't watch your boyfriend jet ski is a fucking stupid law, and it's your job to break it. I don't care what country you're in. We'll be the starting quarterback for the Patriots next year. I don't know. I can't guarantee this. But I'll tell you who should be the starting quarterback for the Patriots is Matthew Stafford should be the quarterback of the Patriots. That guy needs a new start. You could send Darnold to the Lions, although no, that wouldn't work anymore. You could send Minshew to the Lions because they're going to get Lawrence now in Jacksonville. And then because they're not going anywhere with Matt Stafford anyway, right? So might as well send him to a team that has a chance. So give him to us. We can do something with him. But because you can't do anything with Cam. I like Cam. Nice guy. Kept it interesting, but he can't throw, and it's problematic because he's a quarterback. What did Chedda Crispy do to end up with a blog? No, he wasn't. I never blogged about him. I just use his music without paying. Carson Wentz is another one. That could be a Patriot right there. Carson Wentz is interesting. I don't know what the Eagles are going to do. Let's see what Jalen Hurts does the last couple of games. Matt Stafford, yeah. Well, who's better? Matt Stafford or Cam Newton? They're the same age, right? They were both number 1 overall picks. SEC guys. Shadrach, I mean, I don't know enough about these quarterbacks. The only guarantee to come out is Lawrence. I mean, that's the only guy, that guy's going to be a stud. Anybody else could suck. Fields, they could all suck. Look at Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen today, remember Josh Rosen was like the 11th overall pick a couple of years ago in the draft with Darnold and Allen and Lamar and Baker. He was the 11th overall pick. He had one shitty year as a rookie with the Cardinals. They traded him because they wanted to take Kyler. He goes to Miami. Fitzpatrick gets a starting job over him. I thought he was still on Miami. Apparently he was on a freaking practice squad for the Bucks. And he gets signed by the freaking 49ers today as their third string guy. So that's what you could draft. Like if you get the 11th overall pick and you draft like whoever this quarterback is from BYU, he could be Josh Rosen in a couple of years. So there's no guarantees with these quarterbacks. I'd rather just get an established veteran and start grooming the next guy. You know what I mean? You need something to hold you over because Cam Newton can't do it. Matt Stafford could. I wish we still had Garoppolo. He never plays, though. He never plays. He's turning out to be a big disappointment. He's getting there, Kudos to Notre Dame for making a playoff. I didn't even care if they made the playoffs. They suck. I'm so sick of watching Notre Dame get excited for these big games and then fucking not lose. Get cream pied. They look like they don't belong. It's embarrassing. So thank you, Susie Q. I appreciate that. But, I guess we deserved it because we probably were the 4th best team this year. But Texas A&M had a pretty strong case to get in. But the problem with Texas A&M is they lost to Alabama by 28. And Notre Dame's playing Alabama. So why would you want to put Texas A&M in just to play Alabama again? You know what's going to happen there. You probably know what's going to happen with Notre Dame. Like I watched Alabama the other day, and I'm just watching. They are so fast with those Nike uniforms. They just look like a bunch of NFL players all the time. You're watching this, you're like, oh, this is going to be 2012 all over again. They are going to cream pie us. They are going to kill us, dude. It is going to be fucking bad. College football kind of sucks now. It's just it's always Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, and then the 4th team, whoever that is, gets killed. Usually it's Oklahoma. How about Aaron Rodgers? Why would the Packers give up Aaron Rodgers? Because they have Jordan Love? Maybe go after Jordan Love. Maybe do that. Aaron Rodgers is an MVP this year. Aaron Rodgers should be the MVP this year. Patrick Mahomes obviously having a great year. Aaron Rodgers had a better year than Patrick Mahomes. My top 3 for MVP are Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes in that order. And by the way, the Buffalo Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. Clip that. The Buffalo Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. And I'm going to root for them too because I'm the bigger man. Yeah, he's going to kill it. Yeah, Mac Jones is going to fucking murder us. It's going to be bad. Anything else? Rodgers is shooting his way out of town. How so? What if they win the Super? I mean, they're not going to win the Super Bowl because the Bills are. But what if they make the Super Bowl this year? How is that? I mean, he was pissed. That guy's the first guy I've ever seen that's like gone fucking nuts. Although Brady kind of did it too. Remember when we drafted Garoppolo? What did Brady go out and do? He won his first Super Bowl in 10 years. They draft Jordan Love in the first round. All of a sudden, Rodgers has his rebirth. Rodgers was on the decline, man. And his big thing is great quarterback, best arm in the league, one Super Bowl. He only made it to one Super Bowl. What's up with that? Yeah, we're not getting Rodgers. That's not a thing that's going to happen. Not a thing, guys. Come on. Bills aren't. You'll see. You'll see. Oh, God. Oh, God. We got one of these. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, my God. Oh, I don't even know what to say to these people anymore. I don't even know, guys. If you're still on this whole, like, Trump's going to be president thing, like, you're fucking insane. He's not. This was not stolen from him. He won because of mail-in voting. He lost because of mail-in voting. Instead of embracing mail-in voting, he told you not to do it. They did the opposite. That's why they won. That's it. And they obviously collaborated with the media and social media and all that stuff. But he did get more votes. That's just a fact. When's the last time Oklahoma? They're good every year. I mean, they're just not good enough because they're in the Big 12, and the Big 12 is kind of a fucking joke. There's 3 teams. That's it. College football is 3 teams, and then everybody else. Baltimore beat. Come on. This is not Baltimore's year, man. Stop it. Anything else? Yeah, no, I know you're getting a kick out of this, Laura. I'm not. I'm not, because that's my team. You know what I mean? It's embarrassing. It's like, oh, I don't know him. I don't know. I don't know that guy. No, the DCF worker, I never heard back from that DCF worker. Kay Peter has not emailed me back about that. She's still playing the victim there. Mayfield, Murray, they're fine. Mayfield's good enough. He'll never be a star. But Baker's good enough to be like, he's a winner, Baker. That's what he was in college. He was always just a winner. But Murray came after him at Oklahoma, and Murray was like better than him, like talent-wise on the field. Murray was a 7th overall pick in the baseball draft. He was not even supposed to be an NFL player, and then he ended up being the number 1 overall pick. All right. Anything else, guys, before we call it a night? This will be our last show for a while, I guess. So if you have any more questions, I guess it's okay to make this one go a little longer. If not, we'll call it a night. How are the Steelers 11-8? Fakest 11-0 team in NFL history. I said that when they were in 11-0, they had the fakest fucking team. They lost to the Bengals last night. The fucking Bengals by 10. 10. They are the fakest. Their defense is good. That's what's carried them so far, but they've played a shit schedule. They've beaten nobody. They beat the Cleveland Browns. That's their best win. And the Ravens. And they're going to lose to Cleveland in the last game of the season. And Cleveland's going to win that division. Like, the Steelers suck. The Steelers suck. And that's why I wanted the Patriots to get in. Because I'm like, if we get the 7 seed, we get to play the 2. That could be Pittsburgh. But now they're not even going to get the 2. Buffalo's going to get the 2. Yeah. What do I get my kids for Christmas? I like to get them educational shit. Like, so my daughter, I'm really big into, like, I want my kids to be the smartest ones in class. I want them to have like a plethora of useless knowledge. Like my 5-year-old, she already knows all her states. Like we do the state puzzle, we put it together, and then we play a game. Like I tell you, I'm like, show me this state. Like pick a state, and she goes easy, medium, or hard. She tells me it. The easy ones, it's like Florida, Massachusetts, stuff like that, California, Alaska. She knows those. Texas, those are the easy ones. But like she got any, like I'll pick a state. Like she knows the Dakotas, the Carolinas, those are easy. But like I'll be like Nebraska. Where's Nebraska? She knows where it is right away. And so I get her educational shit. So I'm like, she's mastered America. So we're moving on to Europe. So I got her like a big map of a puzzle map of Europe that we're going to start to do together. We're going to learn about Europe. And we also got like their favorite show is Bluey, which is, I like Bluey too. And it's this Australian dog show. And so I got her some Bluey math books. I mean, it's corny, but that's just the way my kids have so many toys. I don't need to get them toys. I want them to be smart. I want them to be the smartest kids in the school. That's my goal. If they ever go to school. So I got them a lot of educational stuff. And like, I want them to play sports and stuff. So I got them basketballs, stuff like that. Anything else? I got her a book of jokes, you know. Smartest kid on the computer, exactly. It's nice to go through a set. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is kind of, I get it. You know, it's nice living vicariously through your, it's fun. Like being a dad is fun. I like doing it. I'm not going to lie. Blue's Clues sucks. That show's so boring. Bluey's funny. I don't know. Is anybody here the kid watches Bluey? My kids just got into it and they love it. They love Bluey. They're done. They've retired Paw Patrol, little Peppa Pig here and there, little Butterbean Cafe, but they're really into Bluey now. Next live show is probably going to be after Christmas sometime. Oh, thank you, darling Mickey. Very nice to you. Sunday show. Well, I won't have anything to talk about. That's the problem. I need things to talk about. Teach her a foreign language. I suppose I could. She takes French. We do. So my sister lived in France for a while. She married a Frenchie, like a legit French guy. Great guy. And they do French. So her and her two cousins, they do FaceTime French lessons every Sunday. So she is learning French. They are. They think it's so funny. They already know. They call breakfast brekkie now. I guess that's what they call it. And hey, Dad, can you give me brekkie? I guess that's what they call it in Australia. Hey, mate. They call me mate sometimes. Rick Kelly. No, I forgot about Rick Kelly. I should follow up with him. All right. Anything else, guys? Although Michelle Olsen would probably want my receipts for Christmas. So I got to make sure. I mean, I'm not Kay Peter. I'm not, raising thousands of dollars with an imaginary lawsuit. But I should still, make sure that my books are straight. Happy Festivus. Tomorrow's Festivus, isn't it? A Festivus for the rest of us. Going on down there? Some of these comments. Come on down after Christmas. Our state is, I know. I like South Carolina too. It's a cool state. I've been to Myrtle before. Nice. Have you seen the poll? The Kruger poll, yeah. I wish. Oh, birthday drink on me. Thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate that. Hey, what should I drink for you? Tell me what should I drink for you? What's my drink? You tell me, I'll buy it. And I'll be 39 next time you guys see me. How about that? 39 years old. Old ass guy. My countdown to 40 begins on Saturday. All right. Anything else, guys? All right, so I guess nobody else has any questions, so we're going to call it a night then, and thank you guys all for the donos. Really appreciate that. Thank you for supporting what we do. Merry fucking Christmas, by the way. I still say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and your families. Ignore all COVID guidelines. Do whatever the fuck you want on Christmas. You're free men and women in a free country. You need to act like it. Have a good time. Have a good time, okay? If you're sick, if you got corona, get tested. If you're going to see grandma, if not, who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. Spread that puppy around. Doesn't matter. It's a 99.9% recovery rate. Have a Merry Christmas, and we will see you all next week. Turtle Boy's going to be back. All right. Peace, Turtle Riders.